Hello, and welcome to the Dot Darling YouTube channel. On this channel, we discuss everything related to esotericism, mysticism, magic, religion, and everything on the fringe of esoterica. I am Dot Darling or Georgina Rose, and in this video, I have a guest, so that's really exciting. I haven't done an interview in a little while, so I got someone who I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of on my channel to basically discuss tarot and how it relates to thelema, Western esotericism, and basically the mysteries of the tarot. Can you introduce yourself and talk about who you are, what you do, and what you've been working on?
Well, I'm Lon Milo Duquette, and I'm a ceremonial magician and a writer and uh, a thelemite. I've been in the OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis, for the last 50 years. I'm celebrating my 50th anniversary in the OTO. I'm currently the United States National Deputy Grand Master, and I've been there for about 20 years. And I write books about thelema and Aleister Crowley and magic and Kabbalah. I've I have currently 20 titles in print. That sounds like a lot, but I've been doing this for so many years. It's really not that many, and uh, I am particularly proud of uh, my book on Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. And tarot's been a very important magical tool in my toolbox. And I've just recently written another book called The Tarot Architect, where uh, whereby I encourage the reader to create their own tarot deck, and I take them step by step uh, through a process that, in a sense, implants the tarot inside them uh, to allow the tarot to teach them rather than them trying to learn the tarot. And and I'm pretty proud of it. It came out earlier this month, and I'll hold it up. That's what it looks like. Okay, and that's that.
So people talk a lot about tarot. I think tarot is one of those occult things that even people who are outside of this world are somewhat familiar with. But people, I don't know. I mean, people know about the Thoth deck and that Crowley worked on that. But what does tarot have to do with thelema? For those who may not be familiar with that connection.
Well, first of all, tarot is technically is structured on the Kabbalah, the Hebrew Kabbalah. Okay, um, believe it or not, the tarot works as a divinatory tool because, in a sense, by its very structure, it is uh, uh, sort of based on basic Kabbalistic uh, principles. There's 22 trump cards and four suits and all of that, and that's connected directly with how the Kabbalah attempts to explain how existence came into existence. And um, Thelema, in and of itself, is not directly related to uh, the tarot, but it's indirectly related to the tarot by means of having the concepts of the Kabbalah, uh, also the basic concepts of uh, consciousness and levels of consciousness that Thelema deals with. So, in other words, thelema is an uh, process of self initiation, and by that, it doesn't necessarily mean like initiation into a lodge or a fraternity of some kind. It can, But initiation is like levels of awakening, step by step levels of awakening. And thelema is based on that. And between thelema and tarot, thelema and astrology, thelema and alchemy, okay, and thelema and magic all have the Kabbalah as their common denominator. So if you would learn your tarot in a uh, systematic, step-by-step way, you're also, in a sense, learning the basics of ceremonial magic, astrology, alchemy, all of that, because Kabbalah is the common denominator.
To use tarot as that kind of like gateway into understanding these type of mysteries, how would they go about studying it? Because there's a lot of different discussion on tarot everywhere, right? And people give such wildly different advice on how to study tarot. So like, how would they approach it if they want to use it as that kind of like initiatory stepping stone?
Well, start off by doing what feels good to you. What attracts you the most with tarot, and for some people, it's on the more artistic right hemisphere level, and they like the artwork. They like how it uh, presents itself to them, and you kind of really have to have a feel for what it is that you're trying to get out of the tarot, or indeed anything. Uh, I wanted to learn about the Kabbalah, so I started with a writer that used the tarot to more or less teach Kabbalah, and that was Paul Foster Case. And his organization's called the Builders of the Adytum. And that uh, system uh, encouraged you to color in your own full set of tarot cards. So you learned about each card one at a time simply by coloring them in with the correct colors, because the there's a correct color scale that goes with each card, and with each suit, and with each planet, and with each zodiacal sign, and with each element. And just by the simple act of picking up your crayons or picking up your colored uh, pencils or your paints, uh, and systematically taking a few hours with each card to color it in, you get to know it. You get to know which Hebrew letter is assigned to it, and what that Hebrew letter means in the greater uh, uh, adventure of this initiatory process. Just one example, how basic Kabbalah and tarot uh, directly coincide. Uh, there are in the Kabbalah, there's 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet, and 3 of those letters are called mother letters, and 7 of those letters are called double letters, and 12 of those letters are called simple letters. And the 3 mother letters correspond to what the alchemists would call air, uh, water, and fire. And the 7 doubles would correspond to the 7 planetary spheres. And the 12 simple letters would correspond to the zodiac signs, or the 12 houses of the zodiac. So you sort of see a nice, neat little package of Hermetic greatest hits uh, just in the Hebrew alphabet. And those three, the reason they're called three mother letters is because the first one, the Fool tarot card, is Aleph, the Hebrew letter Aleph, and it's simply one of the things Aleph stands for is just up and down. And just draw an eternal line that goes up and down. And the we've got the gardener out front here. I hope you can still hear me. Um, and the next Hebrew letter, Mem, just as simple is simply front and back.
The lawnmower is doing the mim motion of front and back right now. We're getting a live demonstration.
I was going to say, and the great secret of the universe is okay. And the third mother letter is simply right and left. Okay, and up and down and front and back and right and left create the dimension that we're in. Okay, it's as simple as that. Before that process, there isn't even a dimension for a universe to manifest in. Okay. And just those simple things, looking at those three mother letters and realizing that the space that you're walking around in has been created by those the uh, the essence of what those three mother letters mean. So and there is profound relationship to your own existence that's inherent in every one of those Hebrew letters and in every one of those tarot trumps. So, uh, but it's so dry to study it in a book. Okay, to read about it. Get a Kabbalah book, and you'll probably fall asleep really fast. Okay. What the tarot allows you to do is make a flashcard, okay, an uh, illustrated version of all of these principles, and then they more or less come to life. And uh, if you take it all the way through, literally create your own tarot deck. I provide actually the very simple blank forms which have all of the corresponding dates, zodiac degrees, and spirits that inhabit every one of the cards. Um, Already on the forms, and instructions for the coloring, meditations that go with along with their creation. And more or less provide a whole program for the reader to customize their own tarot deck and implant it like a seed in themselves and allow it to grow on its own in a very personalized way, rather than giving you uh, things to memorize, buzzwords and things like that. Um, it is meant to make the tarot come alive in you. So it's kind of a serious program.
I know people when they start, dealing with like Hermetic Kabbalah, if they're a magician or a mystic type, they often do pathworking. Do you think tarot could be used for techniques like pathworking?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's the tree of life. Okay, every one of those 10 bubbles there, those 10 Sephiroth, those 10 emanations. Uh, are representative of the lesser arcana themselves, the four suits, uh, the 10 pip cards in every suit, even the court cards have their place there. And then the 22 paths that join all of those Sephiroth are the tarot trumps themselves, the Hebrew letters. That's your path workings, okay? And you do there are meditations that literally take you on that journey, okay? And there's other ways to look at how all of those uh, cards fit into different kinds of designs. They're all on a cube too. See, so that cube was formed by the up and down and right and left and front and back, and the seven double letters are uh, uh, inhabit, if you will, or are created by the six sides in the center, and the 12 edges of the cube are the 12 simple signs or the zodiac signs. So the idea is that you eventually, painlessly, without any effort on your part, if you just kind of do the artwork uh, in a systematic way, you fit comfortably and into the universe as it is displayed, as it's understood, as it's expressed uh, in the Kabbalah, which is also the common denominator for basic Hermetic thought, ceremonial magic.
What would you say? Because there's a lot of people who learn how to read tarot and they just learn it from a divination perspective, right? They just learn it from a future prediction perspective. And those people are not typically learning, these correspondences, right? They're learning the meaning of the cards, but they're not diving this deep into it. What advice would you give to those people who are like, okay, well, I know what the cards mean, right? I do readings, but I don't know all this sort of heavier stuff. Like, what would you tell that type of person?
It's not necessary. It's not specifically necessary that they do understand it. There's, but it's nice for them to know that the tarot is working for them as a divinatory tool because it is perfect. Truth reveals itself in perfection. Truth reveals itself in beauty. Truth reveals itself in mathematics. And tarot works as a divinatory tool because it's perfect. And you don't have to ask why it's perfect, but it's good for you to have a basic understanding on how incredibly, profoundly perfect that box of tarot cards is that you're using as a divinatory device. And it's important for you to know, or it's nice for you to know, that that your psychic abilities, your abilities as a diviner or as a fortune teller, is augmented, has been enhanced by your increasing uh, familiarity, your increasing intimacy with this perfect living device. And so the to know a little bit of why it's perfect can be helpful to you in your appreciation of what it is that you're dealing with. And everyone, especially the small cards themselves, the 36 small cards, the 2s through 10s, uh, which represent 10-degree periods. There's 36 of them, and they represent decans of the zodiac. And each of those decans also plays host to uh, numerous traditional angels, Kabbalistic angels of the Shemhamphoresh, um, two Goetic spirits, one for the day and one for the night. In other words, each of these cards contains, whether you know it or not, no matter what deck it is that you're using, okay, just by the simple structure of the card, uh, it contains a host of spiritual beings. It's like a boarding house. It's a hotel. Okay. Uh, the Seven of Wands. Okay, it means that 10-degree period of the zodiac there. Okay, its house is Mars in Leo. Okay, but there's an angel of the Shemhamphoresh in that first 5 degrees. And then there's another angel of the Shemhamphoresh in the second 5 degrees. Then there's a Goetic spirit, some people call them demons, that are roommates with these guys in that hotel room. Okay, and it's not limited to these. The Kabbalistic ceremonial magic uh, over the centuries has numerous spirits that are assigned to that same decan. And that's so, in other words, it's just teeming with spiritual life and spirit life. And is it any wonder that a regular working with these cards, even if you're not studying any of this stuff, is it any wonder that working with this perfect um, uh, expression, this book of life, uh, would not draw latent psychic abilities out of people? I know people that don't care about any of this stuff because I go to tarot conventions and stuff, and uh, years ago, one old, very venerable, famous reader. Um, we were talking about the Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot, and which I wrote a book about. Um, she says, I don't care about Aleister Crowley and I don't, care about his magic. All I know is those damn cards work. And I said, that you don't have to know any more than that. You're doing fine. Okay. Yes, they work. Okay. And but some of us like to know why it works. And and for that, and some of us actually need to sort of systematically trick ourselves into the meditative practices that uh, uh, actually reveal to us on a deeper level than just our intellect and our reasoning. Um, uh, some of us need to go beyond that and make it um, an experiential thing. And that's the reason I wrote the Tarot Architect, is to help people ease into that, and at the end of the process, have a full deck of tarot cards that they've made themselves.
What do you think about people using tarot cards to represent certain correspondences in like a ritual setting? Because I've seen some people do this, like if they need some sort of, element represented or whatever, they'll use a tarot card that corresponds to it. What do you think about this kind of thing that people have started doing?
That's a perfect use of it. That's yeah, that's perfect. Uh, I've used tarot cards for Goetic evocation. I've used uh, 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 tarot cards for. Uh, uh, I take a tarot deck with me everywhere. Actually, I take two, because I spent a lot of time, or I used to spend a lot of time in hotel rooms, and I would have to literally make my magical temple out of tarot cards. Okay. And the if you're going to do a magic ceremony of something, you can use cards to represent people, okay, the court cards, or yourself. Ultimately, all you're representing is yourself. And for the most part, generally, theoretically, that's a very good use of tarot cards. Sure.
I love that. All right. Well, that's kind of where I'm going to wrap the conversation. Where can people find you? Where do you exist in the cyberspace and the physical
I
book
don't,
space?
I don't know. Just my publisher for the last 35 years is Wiser Books, or Red Wheel Wiser, and I got a couple Llewellyn books too. And um, just uh, just Google Lon Milo Duquette in Amazon, and you'll probably see all the books, and the ones I've even written introductions for. And uh, but where I do a like a half-hour show 7 days a week live on Amazon. I mean on Facebook. So if you just look Lon Milo Duquette Facebook, and uh, follow me there, because for the last 4 years I haven't even I've missed maybe 1 or 2 days, but I do it 7 days a week. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you can find my music too. Yeah, that's another life.
All right. Well, this has been our sort of conversation. I am Georgina Rose, or Dot Darling. You can find me on every platform under the sun: Instagram, TikTok, Substack, Twitter/X, whatever people call that now. I'm still not sure about that one. Yeah, here I host the podcast Pagan Perspectives, also available on this YouTube channel and on most podcasting platforms. This show is supported through Patreon. If you join the Patreon, you get my ritual guides, those original 20+ page guides that I write every single month based on the current astrological transits. Extra videos and other fun stuff. I also do tarot and astrology. All that information will be in the description. Please like, comment, subscribe. And if you ring the bell and subscribe for 93 days, you will meet your holy guardian angel. That's definitely how that works. Do not ask questions about that in the comments section. Verified, authentic. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, afternoon, mid morning, mid evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Bye.